When it comes to adventures, nothing can be more appealing than a place that is forbidden. These types of places make you wonder about the secrecy of whatever goes on inside them, and surely many of us would like to be among the first people to walk into all of these unknown mysteries. But there's a reason why we're not allowed in there, don't you think? Today we'll be looking at 10 forbidden places you're not allowed to visit. Some of these restrictions are for your own good, as stepping into the area could ultimately mean your own death. Other places are forbidden due to the beliefs of the people who live near there and other places, and well, we don't know why they're forbidden, but we'll try to get to the bottom of it today. Stay with me all the way to the top and find out about a forbidden place that you'd love to see, but it's very unlikely that you'll ever be able to visit it. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Bohemian Grove, USA. Have you ever been part of a boys' club? Well, I'm sure none of them were as exclusive as the one I have here. Bohemian Grove in Monterey, California is famous for its 2,700-acre meetup place for men. But not just any men. No, we're talking about past and present U.S. presidents, government leaders, business leaders, artists, musicians, and all kinds of men in higher positions of influence from around the world. Each July, these guys come together for a very exclusive reunion. There's a rumor saying that a few years ago they had a meeting in which they planned the atomic bombing. However, there is no one who can confirm or deny this. After all, membership to this club is exclusive, and everything that happens at their gatherings is highly confidential. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it really works. Number 9. East Grand Shrine, Japan. Japan has a lot of places that you definitely have to visit, but if there's something you can't miss, even if you try, is seeing one of its 80,000 shrines. This country has so many of them that you're likely going to spot at least one during your visit. However, none of those shrines compares to the East Grand Shrine, which is probably the most important one in this small yet culturally rich country. The East Grand Shrine has to be rebuilt every 20 years. This shrine is a very intricate temple that is one of the most expensive ones ever due to its detailed architecture. The reason why this place has to be rebuilt often is because of the Shinto tradition of death and rebirth of all things in nature. If you visit it today, you'll be seeing the latest edition, which was done in 2013. But if you plan to go inside, just give up the hopes of doing so. You can only go in if you're a member of the Japanese imperial family. Number 8. Heard Island, Australia. What is the most remote place you've ever visited? Did you ever feel like you were stuck in the middle of nowhere? Well, I'm sure whatever place you were stuck at does not compare to Heard Island in Australia. Even though it is a part of this huge country, this island is actually between Madagascar and Antarctica. The island has 2 massive active volcanoes, but most of it is covered in ice. Some of the inhabitants of this remote place include penguins, seals, and some birds. However, when it comes to humans, we're not allowed to go there, but we can go to the nearby McDonald Islands if there is a scientific purpose to our visit. It is said that the temperature at Heard Island is so cold that our bodies wouldn't be able to stand the harsh temperature. Besides, there's not much to see as there's barely any life in this place. Number 7. Vatican Secret Archives, Vatican City. Nothing screams conspiracy theory more than the existence of secret documents in one of the most known religious headquarters in the world, especially when it comes to the Vatican City, the most important place in the world of Catholicism. This place is a vault that holds a lot of documents that have existed for more than hundreds of years. People speculate that these documents have relevant information about demons, aliens, and some people even go as far as saying that the documents have evidence that the church was part of the fascism movement in the past century. Unfortunately, we regular humans will never get a chance to have a look at these papers unless we were the Pope or a renowned scholar who's older than 75 years old. I can see how all the secrecy makes people come up with all of these theories, though. Number 6. Surtsey Island, Iceland. And here's another island to add to our list. This one makes me a bit sad because it's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And I don't know about you, but in my case, when it comes to traveling, I really like the idea of visiting places that have been recognized by UNESCO. But things are a bit different with this volcanic island. This place was turned into a lab back in the 1960s, and scientists over there are doing all sorts of experiments that revolve around plants, animals, bacteria, and fungi, and how they develop in this environment. After more than 50 years of being active, they have been able to fill the island with more than 335 different species. However, in order to keep the place at peace, human intervention must be limited. For that reason, we're not allowed to visit, unless we become scientists who get involved in this project, of course. Number 5. North Brother Island, USA. We surely have a bunch of islands today, don't we? But when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Islands are the perfect place to execute sinister plans or to hold secrets far away from nosy people. In the case of North Brother Island, its dark past shows us how it was hands down a place that none of us would have liked to visit. In the 19th century, this island had a hospital where they quarantined patients with tuberculosis, yellow fever, and smallpox. Years later, during World War II, the place turned into a facility for people struggling with heroin addiction. The hospital finally closed its doors in the 60s, but people were not allowed to visit. Instead, the buildings have been taken over by nature, and today it is a nesting place for black-crowned night herons. It all sounds quite dark if you ask me, but I'm not really interested in visiting a place like this one. Number 4. Medjugorje, Russia. I've heard about closed communities. I mean, they're usually quite cultish, but have you heard about an entire town that is closed to the public? That does raise a lot of questions and makes me wonder about the nature of this kind of place. And that is the case of Medjugorje, a town in the Ural Mountains. This town is about 120 miles away from Ufa, the capital of the Republic of Bashkortostan. This town was founded towards the end of the 70s, and some people speculate that inside of it there is a nuclear missile site. There are not people who can confirm this, but it's said that there are missiles in this place that can be activated remotely. However, if you ask the Kremlin, they'll say that the place is used for mining. The only way to get a look at this place is via satellite images. But if we ever try to set foot in here, well, we will find ourselves in front of 2 battalions that will keep us from going in. Number 3. The Dome of the Rock, Jerusalem. When you see photos of Jerusalem, you can easily spot the Dome of the Rock. However, if you ever manage to get there, you will not be able to visit this place. This place is inside an area that is considered to be one of the holiest ones in the world. This being the Temple Mount. This is a very important and sacred place for Jewish believers, and its existence dates back to the 1st century before Christ. It is also the 3rd important place for Sunni Muslims, after Mecca and Medina. But you can only make it so far within the Temple Mount before you reach the gold-topped shrine of the Dome of the Rock. You will not be allowed to visit this place unless you're a true follower of Islam. Non-Muslim visitors will not be allowed in here. However, you can get a close look from the courtyard during non-Muslim visitor hours. Just like many other sacred places in the world, a visit to this place will require you to dress up modestly, even if you will not make it all the way inside. And if you practice Islam, then this is a place you will probably want to go if you haven't done so yet. Now it's time for the day's best pick. It seems like a lot of the places on this list are way out of our reach. I mean, some of them are within known cities, but a lot of them are in remote places that we wouldn't be able to access even if we desperately wanted to. Now, the picture I chose for today shows a man standing in front of a very interesting looking monument. This place looks like a UFO that just landed in a faraway place. It's a very odd looking building, and that guy certainly looks curious about what's inside, so let's have a look for ourselves with number 2. The Buzladza Monument. This building is inside the city of Buzladza in central Bulgaria. It was built by the Bulgarian Communist Party and is commemorated events that happened back in 1891 when a socialist group had a secret meeting to later found the Bulgarian Social Democratic Party that later became the Communist one. Unfortunately, this place was left to abandonment after the Soviet Union fell in 1989. However, the shape of this place is so unique that it has become the set for a couple of movies and even music videos. You can spot it in a video clip by the band Kensington and in films like I Feel Good from the year 2018. There's even a Frankenstein opera that mentions some coordinates in which a creature was found. When you look at it, you realize those coordinates lead you to the exact same spot where the Buzladza monument is. If you take a tour in Bulgaria, you can ask your guide to take you to see the monument, but don't expect them to show you what's inside the building. This is prohibited as the current state of the construction does not allow for visitors to go in safely. And yet still, some people have managed to sneak in at their own risk and get cool photos from the inside. Number 1. The Coca-Cola Vault, USA. We all, or at least most of us all, have tried Coca-Cola, but this soda has a very peculiar flavor and only a few selected people in the world know about its secret recipe. In order to keep it safe, the recipe is hidden inside the Coca-Cola Vault in Atlanta, Georgia. Coca-Cola was invented back in 1886, which means it's been out for more than 100 years. When the soft drink was acquired by a group of investors in 1919, they decided to put the recipe under lock and key at a bank in New York. Then, in 1925, they transferred it to Atlanta. Today, the recipe is inside a vault in the museum in Atlanta, but you can only have a look inside the vault if you are one of the chosen few. I would love to be able to enter one of these places one day, especially the Coca-Cola Museum, except for the ones where I could die. But it seems like most of these places will be off limits for as long as I live. Which of these places would you like to visit? Have you ever been to a place that was considered forbidden? Let us know in the comments section down below. With all that said and done, I'll see you all next time, everybody. Laters.